Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo, came up from the struggle, now we stacking chips. Black Wall Street, we rebuilding from the pits. Politics and business, we beyond rich. Donnie Glover Show, watch us shift the switch. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com. Spotlight on the hustle when the real was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com. Talking black excellence, ain't no exclusivity. History in making, reclaiming our divinity. Brick by brick, rebuilding our community. Donnie Glover Show, celebrate unity. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com. From the boardroom to the streets, we making waves. Business minds running, new paths paved. Politicians listen, they know we the brave. Black Wall Street dreams rising from the grave. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo, 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 yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. Oh, yo, yo, yo. From the boardroom to the streets, we making waves. Business minds grinding, new paths paved. Politicians listen, they know we the brave. Black Wall Street dreams rising from the grave. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com. Spotlight on the hustle where the real was calm. Every episode, dropping knowledge, dropping bombs. Donnie Glover Show by BMONews.com.
Good evening, family. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome home. Good evening, family. Welcome to BlackUSA.News. I'm Donnie Glover. Tonight, we're diving into a piece of history that still carries a heavy price tag today. Under Virginia's 1924 Racial Integrity Act, tens of thousands of people with Native ancestry were stripped of their identity on paper. Mike Lane calls it paper genocide. And with that came enormous losses in land and wealth. Now, I don't know about you, but I tend to focus on the 1.6, 1.9 trillion dollars that melanated people generate annually, how that's equal to one of the top 20, if not top 10 economies on earth if we actually had a gross domestic product. But be that as it may, tonight we have joining us attorney Natalie Pierre-Lewis, Esquire, host of Who Got Sued This Week, to help us break down what was lost, how much it's worth in today's dollars, and why this history still matters. What do you think? You like the intro?
I think it was great. I enjoyed it. I was sitting here bopping along. Hey. Hi everybody. Do I just go in? This is my first time on with Donnie, y'all.
Introduce yourself.
Hello everyone. My name is Natalie Lewis. I am a business and trademark attorney. And I have a special interest in helping groups that are typically disenfranchised, understand how to build and scale their businesses, because I think that is the best way to change your economic situation. I was brought on by Donnie to do my live show where I teach these concepts using pop culture and celebrity news. And the other day, Donnie asked me to look into the Dawes Commission and the Racial Integrity Act. And because of my legal perspective, I was looking at them from a contract law and intellectual property perspective, and it was really fascinating and very sad. Yeah, interesting but sad.
Did it surprise you?
It didn't surprise me because, I mean, hello, history. But when you are able to put the actual numbers to it, it is staggering. And then it's also from a legal perspective, we're always told that the law is devoid of emotion, and that's just a complete lie. Laws are constructed because of needs and desires. And in this case, the laws that brought the Dawes Commission and Racial Integrity Act, in put them in place were, greed and racism. It was just a matter of greed and racism. I don't know if you had things that you wanted to talk about before.
Oh, no worries. No worries. So
Okay.
we have started this discussion 3 weeks or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
A family discussion asking who we are. Those of us who have been in this, or descendants of people who have been in this North America or the Americas. And if you ask me, that actually should include the Caribbean too, but be that as it may. And what we found is, as some of us become more and more aware of who we are, we have to rethink how we define ourselves.
Do we have to? Oh, sorry.
Some people think that. They have, for instance, some of the very fine people who listen to this show identify themselves as Native American, not Native Black American. They want nothing to do with the word Black. And so what we are attempting to do with this conversation, because we respect everybody. We've asked, are we Native? I have Blackfeet great grandma, Puerto Rican on my mama's side, and who knows what else in there. But be that as it may, I still love the Native story, the indigenous story, the story of the peoples who have been here in this land for hundreds of years, for thousands of years. Some are serious students on here. They go back to the Ice Age.
Okay.
I don't have much knowledge beyond what I've read about Luzia in Brazil, 11,700 years old. We welcome new information. For instance, I don't know if you saw the promo for tonight. Here's the fact. Let me ask you. You've read a couple of books in your life. Where do you find the most pyramids in the world, Africa or the Americas?
Well, you said the Americas, so I'm going to say the Americas because you have a lot in South America.
So let me, okay, American Indian, with all due respect, American Indian is the name. There you go. Thank you, DJ Sweetness. Be nice tonight. I want no stuff. VA's finest, Virginia's finest. American Indian is the name. And I respect who you tell me to call you as. I respect that. And I feel the same way. Just don't call me late for dinner. You are welcome, VA finest, Virginia's finest. My mama was from Virginia. On my grandma's side, my father's mother, grandma Flossie, she was from Halifax, South Boston, Virginia. I've looked in the records as far back as I could go was like 1835. Thomas Morton. Gratitude. Much love, DJ Sweetness. You ain't got no, you get no smoke here. One no smoke. It's Friday. She will drop the hammer. She don't play. So let's get into some facts. I got some things I want to show you. I got a couple of slides. Trying to be organized, bring an intelligent dialogue, not waste people's time. I'm going to take a stab and go this way. I think that's the way. Land estimate from the records and historical scholarship. And we're just talking about in Virginia. We're talking about Walter Plecker, the Racial Integrity Act, 1924. And so I just put a hypothetical in there. Niji, thank you, Alexander. Well, you got to tell me where these mounds are. Do you know about the mound pyramids, Natalie?
I do not. Everything that I know about this issue has been the things that you kind of suggested, the Dawes Commission and the Racial Integrity Act. Of course, I know the things that I learned in school, but my knowledge of indigenous and American Indian things is limited. I will say that.
Virginia's Fine says Baltimore has all the mounds. I saw one as a kid going back to 1968, right there at Collington and Patterson Park over that way, right off North Avenue. And they are essentially, they're made of mounds, grass. I have to put one up for you. But for now, from the records, historical scholarship likely lost 100,000 just in Virginia alone. Because when I go into the AI joint, I typed in the question, guesstimate how much land was snatched. And this is a conservative estimate. So if I got categorized as African American, that means I have no access to this land. And this is a guesstimate of how much we got robbed.
Mm-hmm.
Likely lost 100,000 to 250,000 acres statewide. And that's conservative.
Mm-hmm.
The land values in Virginia in 2025 language or numbers will be 5,000 to 6,000 per acre. And so the price tag they came up with, let me move this out the way, 500 million to 4 billion in today's dollars.
In Virginia?
In Virginia alone.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not asking you to be a financial wizard.
No, because what I did, I kind of went, I did some research on, what was the land that was affected by the Dawes Commission, because they did the five, what they call the 5 civilized tribes, and what would that value be for today? And with the research that I did, they said that the American Indians, they had about 138 million acres, but they lost about
300 million.
Huh?
Top cats. I don't know how to reach you, but I'm gonna put my number right here on the screen because I want you to catch it. I don't know how to reach you, big brother. The schedule you on. You know him?
And again, this is information that I found through my own research. And it's only speaking about what they call the 5 civilized tribes, the Choctaw, the hold on, give me 1 second. The Choctaw, the Cherokee, the Chickasaw, the Creek, and the Seminole. They're saying that based on the land that they controlled, they had about 138 million acres. They lost maybe about
Chief top cats. Understood.
Excuse me?
Paying attention to the comments.
Oh, okay. They lost about 90 million acres, and at the low end of value, getting the value of that land that was covered by the Dawes Commission and those 5 tribes, it would be worth about $458 billion today.
Wow.
So that's I guess the Midwest, Oklahoma, and surrounding states. So, and that's at the low end. That's not, they're saying that at the high end, it could be somewhere upwards of $4.5 trillion. And they're not just including the cost of the land. That's, what did you find on the land? Like how many people found oil under the land, or minerals, or, were able to sell that land to the government for use. So this is kind of along the same lines as when Georgetown had that whole controversy with the slaves that the university owned, and they were trying to evaluate, how much wealth did you strip away from these people by owning them? And it was basically, they couldn't count it. They couldn't. So, and it's not just about the land, it's about what's tied to that land, what people who were buried there, just cultural connections. Hey, Joey. My sister's in the live. Yes. So it's the money that the money that the United States was able to swindle from.
That's your sister?
Yes, from American Indians. Oh no, not that. Glam Studio J is my sister. The money that the
Hello, Glam Studio.
That the current, well, not current, but that the invading force was able to take away. I don't even think it can really be properly calculated. Hello, Magnes. My whole family is in this chat. Hey, y'all. Okay. It's innumerable, because when you think about the Dawes Act, the Dawes Commission, and separating it into individual allotments, right? First of all, American Indians didn't even believe in owning personal property. So you're asking them to change their entire mindset, which changes their entire culture. So bringing European law or whatever law they brought here and trying to integrate that or essentially break down basically Native American culture by using European law. I mean, it was smart, but it was also devastating, right? You have these people agree to this commission that they don't understand because they don't have this idea of individual land ownership, because it's a communal society, and you get them to agree to this, and then you start taking away their land, and then you disenfranchise them by taking away their identity. There's so much contracts and intellect and IP, specifically like trademarks, because if you didn't have that name of Native American or American Indian, I'm sorry, that's the term that you prefer, right? You don't get a chance to get that land allotment. And who decides whether you're Native American? Usually the white people in charge. So then you have so that's at the federal level, but then you go to the states, and then you have this the Racial Integrity Act. So now they've totally eliminated, if you're going to be a part of the United States, they've eliminated the idea that you can be Native and or American Indian, I should say, and still be a part of the United States. So you're either white or you're colored. So you get totally locked out of your heritage of land.
So here's a bit of American history for you. Sarah Rector, also known as Sarah Rector Campbell and Sarah Campbell Crawford, born March 3rd, 1902 to July 22nd, 1967, was an American oil magnate, since childhood. She was the richest Black girl in the world. Under the Treaty of 1866, due to birthright as a Black grandchild of Creek Indians born before the American Civil War, she inherited land. It was surprisingly discovered to be oil rich and produced over $300 US, equivalent to 10 grand these days per day. So she was known as the richest colored girl in the world, Sarah Rector. Let's give you some of these comments. So Black people were tycoons. Glover's in North Alabama. My granddad was from Orangeburg, South Carolina. George Witcher. Thank you, George. Much love. So this is an example of a melanated person, a Native American, who did get her props. She did get her money, her coins, as some people say. Now, here's the ironic part. The story has been told many times that they appointed her white parents. Not that anything was wrong with her parents, but that's how they roll. If we're going to give you this money, you're going to have some white overseers, if you will, to manage your money. And you know they come. Yeah, you can imagine what the game was. Mr. Setup.
They could. I mean, everything was done so that they could eventually get control of at least the best parts of the land. You know, they did it first by saying you could only get land. You could only get land if you were Native American, and they were like, "Well, we get to decide who's Native American." So it was just you were lost. You lost coming or going.
Did you find out did you learn anything else in your, as you were researching this topic?
Well, yeah, I was reading about, I'm actually interested in the current lawsuits, or the recent ones. I want to do a deeper dive and see what's going on with those. Has anyone been successful in suing for recognition as an American Indian? They named some cases that I saw, but nothing that seemed to be like, I don't know how to, that seemed to be, that one case that is like, all right, this is how we're going to determine whether you're, whether you're Native or not. And I think that's on purpose. The erasure, with that erasure, you don't have your paperwork. You're not able to keep your familial, line intact. Some people may have done that, but let's say you came from a Native family that didn't convert to Christianity. There wasn't the family Bible where you're keeping everybody's name in. A lot of the history is oral. So what you're hearing, you heard from your grandmother that, you're such and such, and that's your proof. The system was set up for them to fail. It's like, it's that not a joke, but that trope. How many of us growing up heard, I got Indian in my family, right? Because probably somewhere back there was an American Indian in there, or some Native. My family's from Haiti, so my mother told me, yes, we have Indian in our family, because probably somewhere back the Taino natives, intermarried with the slaves and the white, and it's all mixed in there, right? But there's no paperwork, because that wasn't something that we really did as societies. Honestly, paperwork ain't from white people. And not to say that it's a bad thing, but imposing that type of law without taking the cultural competence into consideration, it destroyed the economic backbone of both the American Indian and African American populations.
Now, I got to put this out there because this is a bit of an aside. I'm big on history. Now, he says Sarah Rector was the first Native American millionaire. And so that would go against, and I'm not challenging, but this is who I thought was the first melanated millionaire. And if we're not saying the same thing, then I get it. But this cat is a little, I think he's when I say she died in, he was 1810 to 1848, an Afro-Cuban settler. He's one of the founders of San Francisco, William Leedsdorf. Leedsdorf.
Went off. Right. And but looking at, sorry, that's my dog. Looking at George's comment, you know, most of the Caribbean islands, we know about the Arawaks and the Caribs that were in the islands, but we don't have, you know, I don't know.
We're not saying the same thing. Respect. I got you.
I'm sorry.
No, not you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah, you know, you don't have that paper, as you know, especially if you lived in a remote area. If you gave birth, you didn't necessarily get a birth certificate when you were born. You had to wait till you could go down to the city and get the birth certificates for the kids, and you know, just put whatever you want on paper. So sometimes Europeans, this genocide was real. It was bloodless, but it was devastating. It took away people's identity because, yes, maybe you were a freed slave, but if you were living amongst American Indians for a good portion of your life, and then you've intermarried, you have children, you know, you're planning a future for them with your people, and then all of a sudden they're like, these aren't your people. And it wasn't just from the Europeans. It was also there were tribal leaders who didn't want to give freed slaves status within the tribes. So you have it from both ends where, yeah, you're as a freed person, you're contributing to society. You are, you are integrating yourself in this culture, but even you escaped one bad situation, thought you found a good one, only to find out that these people are like, oh no, we like you, but we don't like you like that. You know? So it can lead to a real identity crisis. It may have led to a real identity crisis for some African Americans, where they felt like, they had to deny their African American ancestry if they wanted to continue in the tribe, or they were just forced out because they were labeled as African American. The answer is not among first. Okay.
Craig, I am not a scientist. I don't know biology, but I know very dark-skinned people who have very light-skinned relatives, and yet they share the same lineage. I've learned to be careful judging. I remember meeting Mr. William C. March. Are you in Baltimore, Natalie?
I'm in Hyattsville right now.
So you're more so DC.
Yeah.
William C. March was a noted funeral director here in Baltimore. As a matter of fact, he became iconic. He took the industry to another level, roughly from 75 until he went home. He put that whole, somebody comes along and like Netflix and just totally, that's what he did. There are others who have come since then, but he was very fair skinned, and his hair was straight. And it's so interesting, Craig, because the same thing that was done to us, we now do it to ourselves. I think they call it Stockholm syndrome, or Patty Hearst syndrome, where you end up taking on the characteristics of the very people who oppressed you.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I don't judge people by their complexion. Nobody has control over their complexion, and mess around and find out people who have more melanin in their life and their livelihood than do you. Joined the broadcast, my family was on Plecker's hit list. Were they? So I do understand that there were surnames that were assigned to different people in Virginia. If you'd like to come on and share your story, I'll put the link in, even if you want to share audio. Just don't talk about my mama. That's what I say. What you talking about? What, Candy Bar? What? If you'd like to come on, please, the link is right there. Do join us. Welcome back. Oops. Welcome back, counselor.
Hello. Yes. Okay. So where were we? Oh, so I was saying that. Oh, we're talking about the first Native American millionaire. Okay. All right.
Sarah Rector was born in 1902 near the all-black town of Taft, located in Indian Territory, where descendants of the Muskogee Creek Nation people could be part of the nation.
So Sarah Rector was the young lady that you put up there who was assigned white parents?
Yes. First Native American millionaire.
Okay. Well, then what is Craig? So what did Craig?
Well, I don't know if you recall, I had a picture up of William Leedsdorf from
right.
One of the founding fathers of San Francisco. Anyway,
okay.
Here we go. That statement in regards to our ancestors had to call themselves American Indians and not African American in order to obtain something that's outlandish. Well, what's your evidence?
I'm saying it's possible. I am not claiming to be an expert in this area. I was asked to come on and look at it from a
Craig.
From a legal perspective. So please don't take what I'm saying as I'm saying that I am an authority on on American Indian issues. That is not what.
Yeah, she's an attorney, y'all. I didn't bring her on to be any expert in any other way. Simply as an attorney, I wanted to clarify this amount right here because this is not something that I hear discussed a lot. I like the money. I'm a bottom line person.
All right. Well, these numbers are for Virginia. The ones that I looked at were for the area covered by the Dawes Commission, which is the Oklahoma and surrounding territories. So if we're just taking so if we just take those and we take the low end of 458 billion out in the Dawes Commission area, and then what's here, Virginia?
Yeah, on the conservative side, 4 billion. I like the bigger number.
All right, 4 billion. Let me see. If we take 458 and divide that amongst the 5 tribes. So let's say that's about 90 billion per tribe or per tribe, right? How many tribes did we have in the United States? And, I don't know either, but think about all of that land that was confiscated, that was stolen, that was bought. And if just that small section can is worth $458 billion in today's money. If we were to repay
600 distinct tribes, 574 federally recognized tribes.
Okay, if we were even to attempt to repay you know, American Indians in either land or, you know, greenbacks, this country would no longer exist. Which is why they're probably invested in making sure that these lawsuits aren't successful. But what stuck out to me when I was doing the research was in contract law, you have these stipulations as to how you can enforce a contract. The person has to be of age. The person has to be of sound mind. The person has to understand what they're signing, or you know, and they can't be under the influence. And you have these invaders who came, devastated the land, attacking the people, killing their children, killing their women, giving them diseases. And then they're like, well, you know, maybe we can come to some kind of resolution with this Dawes Commission. Again, I'm not an expert. Please don't cut my head off. But I'm thinking that, you know, if you have Native American people, they don't go by this individual land system. They're going by this communal land system. You know, and perhaps there was a misunderstanding, or not perhaps, but had the American Indians had this concept of individual land ownership outside of the communal one, maybe they would have, not to say that they went with the Dawes Commission.
I don't think that's I don't think that's fair. I mean,
okay,
they in survival mode.
Right.
That's right. You know, they ain't have time to go to court and file papers.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
In survival mode.
They were in survival mode. They weren't in a space where they could, like,
trying to put a chain on me. I'm going to Florida.
You know, they weren't in a space where they could sit and review and say, well, what does this really mean? You know? Again, people, please don't cut my head off. I am just giving my opinion based on a legal perspective, right? So you presented these legal concepts to people who had no idea of these concepts. They agreed to them because, like you said, they're in survival mode, and then they're like, what's going on?
And you don't know who's who.
Exactly.
I mean, people coming at you with all kinds of lies.
And then
I tell you what, for anyone who did not know about their Native American ancestry and who has now found out about it, I bet you we're all starting to look at a lot of the things we thought we understood before that we realized we saw it totally different. Like the one drop rule. We always thought, and I'm going to put this out there, we always thought, so I thought, the one drop rule meant you got one drop of black blood, that means you're black. Yay. No. that was just a crack in the door for a William Plecker to come in and say, oh, no, you one drop of black blood, you black. Knocking you off the Native American roll, knocking out your ancestry, knocking out your access. And that's why we brought you here. These are the reparations that have been paid to America.
I looked at that section from an intellectual property perspective, right? You have these African Americans who are looking to get that trademark of American Indian because it's theirs, because they were born in it, and they're going to get their trademark. They go and apply to the USPTO or this commission, who is also a party who's opposing their identity. So it's like going, hey, you see me working. So it's like when you apply for a trademark, right? You give it to the USPTO, and then they
we love dogs around here. I want you to know, okay? We love dogs. Okay.
Yes.
Ruff, ruff.
So you apply to the USPTO for the trademark. You say, you know, this name, it represents my brand and what I am. And the USPTO, they can say yay or nay, and they can also put it up for opposition. Toby, now.
So let me get some of your comments in here.
If we put it, thank you, OMGITSGB. So then you go into, so then if we put this in the terms of the Racial Integrity Act, right? You're trying to go to the state government and say, hey, I'm an American Indian because here's my information. But not only is the state government the governing body saying that, you know, who gets to determine who will say whether you are an American Indian or not, they're also the party who's out there opposing your trademark or title as an American Indian because it's in their best interest, because they want to keep that land. If they can keep as many people off of the American Indian rolls as possible, that's less land that they have to worry about giving up. But those were from a contracts perspective and intellectual property perspective. I find it was very smart. It was very devastating, but it's also a great lesson in terms of understanding what you're signing and understanding how branding is important.
How what? Branding?
Branding, your brand, your trademark, right? Because we
have to steal a minute of your time. Can you tell people what you do?
All right. So I am a business.
Use this as time to do a commercial for yourself, because
I am a business and trademark attorney. I help creatives and entrepreneurs set up and scale their businesses, and I do that by, you know, getting their articles of incorporation, so setting up their businesses, also making sure they have their contracts for clients and partners, and I also get their trademarks for their brand. So I just had a trademark that was passed for an education format, right? So when you're filing these trademarks, you have to show the federal government your proof that, you know, this is my mark, this is how I want to use it, And I liken that to the Racial Integrity Act, because you have all of these, because, you know, they're redefining what trademarks are available. There's only white and colored. You don't even have the option of native, right? So the governing body has already put you out of the game, intellectual property wise, trademark wise. And they did it way, way back when, contract wise, when they put the Dawes Commission into effect, because they had people sign a contract that they didn't understand. So, long story short, the American Indians should have shot them when they got on shore.
Well, I want to thank Craig. Craig, you have just schooled me to something. I don't know if it's best to put it there. I tell you, I can never win all here. Let me try it this way. This is Mary Ellen Pleasant.
Okay.
No, it won't fit in there. I just had to put as much that goes in there. That's the thing about these things. You always got to clean it up. California's first Black millionaire helped get St. Mary's off the ground. Mary Ellen Pleasant is widely considered the mother of California civil rights movement. Thank you, Craig. Thank you for the history lesson. We love history.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Beautiful.
Mary Ellen Pleasant. How can people reach you?
Who, me?
Yeah, don't you do business? I'm big
on
business.
I'm sorry. I thought we were getting back. I didn't realize we were still in the commercial part.
Please sell yourself.
Yes. So if you are a person who is in need of business legal help, please contact me. I am on Instagram at NPL Consulting. I am on Facebook at NPL Consulting. I am on TikTok at NPL Consulting LLC. I'm here on YouTube, NPL Consulting. So you can Find me everywhere. I provide free 15-minute consultations for first-time clients. So if you just want to kind of have a chat to see how I can help you, that I do that. Okay. So
They make a great point. Now look here.
yes.
You ever heard of cognitive dissonance?
Yes.
That's when, even though we've been shown evidence that we are Native American,
Mm-hmm.
or many of us are, because I go back to Skip Gates, and I wrestled with this for years. Skip Gates said that 2 to 3%, that's the Harvard professor, 2 to 3% of Black people had indigenous roots. First thing I wondered, was he like Chikanta Diop, who was a physicist, a scientist, actually measuring and looking at genes and microscopes and electrons and protons and so on and so forth? Or is it something somebody told you? Because the only way you would know if 2 to 3% of Black people had indigenous roots, that means you did a pretty good sampling. And we moved all over the place, particularly from the Southeast to various parts, up north, Chicago, New York, or out west. So,
I'd like to address Empress 444's comment.
Yeah, but I love reverse engineering history. Thank you, Craig.
Empress 444 said trademarking does not erase ancestry. I totally agree with you. What I'm saying is that African Americans were fighting for their title of being recognized as both African American and American Indian, and the government was saying you don't even have the option of American Indian because of the Racial Integrity Act. So they eliminated. So if we liken nationality to trademarking, to a trademark, I'm Haitian, I'm Choctaw, I'm Brazilian, they eliminated the option of Native. So you didn't even have the option of legally being recognized as Native. That's what I mean by comparing it to trademarking. Yes.
We learned some sidebar history and we welcome this.
What are we? What the archaeology question?
Yeah, it's not something we talk about, and honestly, I'd love to hear more.
Well, isn't a lot of the archaeology? It's a lot of it would be done. Again, I'm speculating. Isn't
The
a
leading
lot of
institutions in archaeology are not HBCUs.
No, but like the spaces where they would want to dig up, aren't they on reservations? Aren't they on Native land or American Indian land that they don't want them touching?
I'm not an authority. I'm not smart enough to answer that question.
Okay.
Pose your question and let them answer it in the chat.
My question is, someone said, why don't they do archaeology in the United States? Tell me. And I'm wondering, the spaces where they would want to dig up, a lot of times, first of all, these spaces are marked off as, national landmarks, so you can't do it. And then the others, and if they're not, I think a lot of those spaces not on reservation land where they can't go? I don't know. Somebody let me know.
Well, mind you, the Native Americans that were moved from Florida to Oklahoma ended up going there and leaving and going down to Texas, building Black towns along the way. So it's several different stories.
Okay, hold on. Smithsonian, Army, Native tribes, and an archaeologist fought over oldest bones found in the state of Washington, and the tribe lost because the race was Black. Huh. So and there it is, because they're saying that there can't be a mix. They're saying, well, it's from, you know, African ancestry, so it's not American Indian, so you don't have ownership of it, even though there is documented history of the two living community. Paul
Cuffey, also known.
Cuffey.
Paul Cuffey was never.
An African Wampanoag businessman, whaler, and abolitionist, born free into a multiracial family. Okay, so someone like Cuffey, you know, he wouldn't have been able to establish, if he was a part of what they called the 5 civilized tribes, he wouldn't have been able to claim that, because he was part African American, and they would have labeled him as colored, right? So they would have taken that option away from him. Let me see. The Empress said we also
Alexander's. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just reading a comment. It said we also migrated after the wars we fought, all documented. Okay. Right.
So Alexander says, I'm convinced DNA tests indicating Native Americans are compared presumably to the Siberian phenotype. We're a different indigenous phenotype, American Indian.
But aren't the American Indians descendants of those who crossed the Bering Strait?
I don't think this group claims that at all.
Okay.
I think there's more of a perspective that this is home.
Okay. Okay.
And a Mara-centric point of view.
Okay. All right. That is not a view that
that's why I pulled in those pyramids.
Okay. That was not a view that I had been exposed to, so thank you for educating me.
Well, I told you I would not let you fail tonight, didn't I?
Yes.
Did I walk you through this? You listen. I love, and we didn't plug. We need listen. We need to take a minute and acknowledge how we did hook up, and that's your cousin Andy. Tell him who Andy is.
Andy's
brag about Andy. Tell him about Andy.
Cousin. Andy's not my cousin.
He's not. I thought y'all both had the same name.
Pierre. My last name is Pierre-Lewis. Andy's last name is Pierre. Those are 2 separate last names in Haiti. Pierre-Lewis is like Smith in Haiti. It's just a very common last name. Native American.
Me. See, we all learning something. I didn't know.
Yeah, Native American is a federally recognized established tribe. They were established as a proxy for American Indian, which is different.
She's saying they're not.
Can we bring Craig up? He seems to have a lot of knowledge.
Oh, he does.
Because I would like some more explanation on this.
Well, there you have it. Talk to him.
Craig, explain this to me. What do you mean they were established as a proxy for American Indian, which is different? So you're saying that what? Can you explain the difference between a Native American and an American Indian, please, Craig? Because this is a little above my head. Or is it just,
I will say
racial
that what I try not to do is get lost in semantics.
Okay.
And sometimes rather than say anything, I just point to this.
Right. And I'm just trying to understand.
Because I don't want to offend anybody.
Right. I want to know if are Native Americans and American Indians considered the same, or are they considered 2 branches?
Oh, I can tell you, I can certainly tell you that the people watching this show do not identify. I've never gotten the impression they identify with coming from Siberia at all. Now, if I'm wrong, y'all correct me, but I never got that impression at all. At all.
I'm all right. Okay, so Empress said it's separate. All right, so Empress says that they consider Native Americans and American Indians separate. Okay. Okay. I learned something new.
That's what it's about. That's what it's about. We all learning something new. How many people know about Haiti? You know, I love that story about Haiti. A lot of people don't know about Haiti. All we hear about Haiti for real is negative. And I assure you, you will never hear anything good about Haiti in your lifetime. Why? Because Haiti kicked Napoleon and the French square in the hind parts and straight out of Haiti.
Native tells you where you were born. Native New York, Native Floridian.
I'm Native American all day.
Native, according to Black law, it means a natural born subject or citizen, a citizen by birth. So if we're saying they
saying they were Native American before any law came here.
Right. I'm not saying anything else. I was just trying. There seems to be a
New York as well have Chibcha from Boyaca, Colombia. Boyaca.
So for those of you who are saying that Native Americans and American Indians are two different branches, are you saying that American Indians originated here, meaning they did not migrate from elsewhere?
Now that's where you asking the next level. That's the upper level course. You had to bring in some deeper historians than me because
people
that's,
are bringing
that's beyond my pay grade.
People are bringing in Siberia and Mongoloid, and we know that there are 3 races. We've got Caucasoid, Mongoloid, and Negroid. Yes. So I am wondering if
she told you we're not the same. The heads, the heads is a different shaped head.
Okay.
Look at them Olmec heads. Now, see, that's where some of us start looking at other evidence of the melanated people.
In other words, anyone born on the soil in North America is a native. Okay, I think natives were here longer than we were told just because of some archaeological sites. However, there's a conspiracy that, okay, all right, okay. Okay, all right. So American Indians don't believe that they have roots to any other, I guess, like they didn't migrate, or outside of way back, like Pangea style.
Can anybody prove that they didn't?
American Indians.
Here's the flip question.
Okay, Ken said American Indians are from America. We are the Indians of America.
Can you pull up these comments yourself?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. Can I? Okay. American Indians are from America. We are the Indians of America. We didn't migrate anywhere.
You still there? So here's
Haitians born.
Put it up.
I'm going. These things are going past. Hold on. Let me go back. There's a recent designation. Hold up. New York. Native American is a recent designation given to its current people. Anyone born on the soil in North America is a native. Natives were here longer. Some people believe it's longer. Candy Bar, what were you saying correct to? Sobek said you're right. It's a lot of white, but I'll be honest. Okay, that's something else. Haitian-born person is native to Haiti. If you move to America and have kids, those kids are not native Haitian. Okay, I understand that. We're not the same, but we got mixed, especially during slavery. American Indians are from America. We didn't migrate anywhere. Once a person from Siberia or Mongolia reaches America and has a child, that child by law is a native. If you don't Okay, if you don't have the paperwork to prove that you're American Indian with a tribe, what would you say? That is a good question. So for those of you who, okay, these are great comments. For those of you who
Can
may
we
have
deal with them one at a time? I'm sorry.
sorry.
Come on, host. Let me get off. Let you go.
This is Donnie. You invited me here. It's your show.
I'm gonna get some coffee.
But okay. But for those of you who hold on. Well, it's native. Yes. So if you, let's say you know that you have American Indian ancestry, right? But you don't have the paperwork. How do you prove it? How do you prove it? Okay, there's no one-stop shop. Okay. So let's say we need. Listen. Hey, I was brought here as a guest, y'all. You got to do your genealogy. Okay, so how do I do the genealogy? Are we doing, like those DNA tests? Are you going to your family and trying to do an oral history? I'm really trying to understand if I wanted to go to court and sue to be recognized by an American Indian tribe because, I can show that my family is part of them, what do I do? Okay, Empress said genealogy. It's crazy to think that as someone who's went to the school. Okay. The creator is going to prove it. This is bigger. Okay, the creator is going to prove it. But if I want to go to the court so I could get my land as a child of a native tribe, how do I do that? Webster Dictionary, originally applied to copper-colored races. American originally applied to the Aboriginal or copper-colored races found here by the Europeans. Okay. DNA is not genealogy. Genealogy is your paper trail. Okay, Empress 444. I understand that, but let's say that my family lost all their paperwork, lost my paper trail. How do I prove that I have American Indian genealogy? This is what I'm asking you guys. This is an area that I am, let's say, somebody comes, they like, listen, my mama and my grandmama told me that I am in such and such tribe, but I don't have no paperwork. How do they do it? Genealogy is the lineage of your people, your father's father, etc. Hey guys, let's keep it even. Let's keep it even. DNA is not genealogy. Genealogy is the lineage of your people. Empress said said do the work. I've been building my tree since 2012. I'm in the 1400s. Okay, all right. So it's basically just okay. So, all right, let's take you, Empress 444. You're building your tree, right? You're finding these people. Are you finding photos? Are you finding birth certificates? This is the stuff that I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I heard about them testing companies. I ain't doing that. One has to do genealogical research by searching census records, marriage and birth records that can be obtained through the Vital Records Department of your state. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. And then let's see. There are tribes that I have found surnames, but they aren't accepting applications. And sometimes it seems like they are gatekeeping. What do you do? Well, and that's something that I found when I was doing my research. The gatekeeping might be very specific because, again, when they did the Dawes Commission and these racial integrity acts, the tribes lost a lot of their land. So they may be trying to hold on to, the little land that they have left. Genealogy is the key. Who descend from by paper, birth certificates, census records, war documents, land patents. Okay, all of the above. Land grants, probates, you find it all. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So this is very painstaking work. A few months ago, I went to my family reunion. Like I said, my family's from Haiti, and they have been working on our family tree for years, and trying to figure out, who started our city. And we actually had the elders of our family come and talk about, the city when it was first formed, who moved there, who started the city, and things like that. Okay. All right. Where is Donnie? Donnie! So again, I am just starting in this area. I'm just starting in this area, and I'm literally looking at this issue from a legal perspective and how it compares to our modern legal system and things today. And I just think it's very fascinating from a contract law perspective and from an intellectual property perspective, because essentially Europeans came and legally wiped out wiped out entire groups of people with the stroke of a pen. But it's also 30 years of research and still counting. Okay. But it's also one of the things that drew me to the law. Hey, because as much as people may think that the law is boring or devoid of emotion or has nothing to do with real life, the law is based on what happens every day. The law is reactive to what is happening in society. That's why laws are so slow to change, and they change so minorly, because they want to stay in step with what's going on with society, right? And it's just interesting to see how the law can be used to benefit and to
I never said that.
And to deny people what is rightfully there. Okay. So that's my interest in this from a legal perspective. This information on how to your genealogy, that's very interesting. That's very painstaking work. And I commend I commend all of you who are doing that work, because I don't know if I could do it. But for those of you who are intentional or are intent on proving or finding your American Indian ancestry, take some tips from the comments. Do your genealogy work. It's not going to be easy, because think about all that land that was lost just in the Oklahoma area. It was 90 million acres of land, right? And in Virginia, you've got $4 billion worth of land. So maybe it's worth it to you to do that history search and and find those records that prove your family's because they're erasing your family's existence. France will have some of your records as well, because St. Croix, Haiti, St. Domingo, look into the sugar wars. Okay, thank you, Empress 444. You're very knowledgeable. Network and get clues from the community. Yes. Yeah. So Yeah, the DNA test, I was just throwing that out there as an option because I don't know how you would prove Native American ancestry without paperwork. But you guys are saying that, it's not just paperwork that you have. You got to go and look at the record. So, you got to go dust off those books. You got to find those libraries. You got to go into those into those government Donnie, maybe you should plan like a trip to the Library of Congress and do like some type of genealogy search.
Where I want to raid is the Smithsonian. I think in the basement of the Smithsonian are a lot of artifacts that we need to know. One of the things discussed on this show is Kincaid's Cave. You ever heard of it?
I have not.
In the Grand Canyon, they found Egyptian artifacts there.
Oh, wow.
And I went to Vegas once and stayed at the Luxor Hotel, and I just wondered, like, why would you have this Egyptian-themed pyramid-shaped hotel in Vegas? Mm-hmm. And there I learned about Kincaid's Cave, and the story has been retold where it doesn't, they're saying it didn't have to do with Egyptians, but I see all of these pyramids, the mound pyramids, hundreds, thousands, some say, across the Americas. I think of Mansa Musa. The ships that left, 1,000 ships left the coast of West Africa. Mm-hmm. They went somewhere. I mean, all of that timber alone, you could just float. It's my understanding that ships from anything sailing out of West Africa, there are currents that take you right into Brazil. I don't think I am very suspect of the number of people enslaved that were taken across the Atlantic. I just don't believe that the very people who were a part of this are likely to tell the truth. I don't, not me personally. And I think that's why these shows are important, so that we can share our perspectives, because we all can't be wrong, especially about being a Native American.
Right. I'm very invested in looking into the more modern lawsuits going on with this and seeing, what progress they've made.
Well, I wanted you to know that there are people out here who would love to hear your insight on it. And thank you. Let me just thank you publicly for investing in this. Your time is valuable. How much you charge an hour, attorney?
$297.
There we go. So I wanted to bring the people a legitimate. You've been doing your show. You've been covering a lot of. Tell them what your show is often is what you normally do in your show.
So what I normally do is I take pop culture, celebrity news, and I take the ones that have concepts that that you can take for as a business owner and use them. So it's usually like I talked about Robin Thicke getting sued for posting a picture of himself on his own Instagram, because that Instagram, that photo had a copyright owner and the photographer, and there is a current scheme amongst paparazzi because they're not making as much money from their photos. Now what they do is they sue celebrities who post those photos for copyright infringement. And a lot of times, you can get $10,000-$20,000 from a celebrity for suing them for copyright infringement. So that's why I talk about, getting your copyrights in order and making sure that you have the proper licensing. I talk about, trademark infringement cases. Who do we talk? We talked about the Cracker Barrel changing or trying to change their logo and how brand identity is really important. One of the very first stories I talked about was if you guys know Black China, this was what launched my show. She had lost her business license because she just didn't open the mail. They sent her all these notices to, file her annual thing. She just never did it. And they dissolved her business. They suspended her business, and I was just like, you can't just ignore mail from the government, from the state, right? So I teach concepts that business owners need to know, so they can grow and scale with confidence. Because as much as we say we're a country that's built on small business, they don't teach us how to run one. So I make it my mission to teach people how to how to properly run your business. So if that interests you, please follow me.
Let me give you some space. That's NPL consulting firm.
Yes.
Okay.
On IG. I'm also on TikTok, Facebook, all the apps.
I tell you, I've been doing radio since I was 15. I did a show for Radio 1 for 21 years, the longest running show at Radio 1. And then one day they started charging me. All of a sudden, whatever. And I thank God for it. I mean, I didn't like it at the time. I had a little but anyway, I thank God for it because we found this. And I've been doing YouTubes probably since 08, 09. We have about 7,700 videos on this channel, including multiple visits to the White House, some videos from Africa, from Middle East, different places. But I have come to really, really love this platform. And this topic is near and dear to my heart. Ever since I was a little kid watching cowboy and Indian movies, I always rooted for the Indians. And just always have been drawn to it. And then as you get older, your father tells you about your grandma, your great-grandma. And she was Blackfeet, a member of the Blackfeet. And you start to uncover. My dad and my mom are gone, so a lot of the stories, grandma, grandpa, they all gone. So we have to connect those dots. And now being a grandfather myself, I now have to make it my business. This is in real time, Natalie. I have to make sure I share these stories with my grandchildren.
Absolutely.
Because I'll share this one last caveat. Some people years ago were shamed. Like, don't tell nobody. They were told in their household, don't tell nobody you're Native American. Don't say that to nobody, as if something, with fear of retribution and
right,
taking your place. We're gonna put the rest of these comments up. This is from Nightcrave, Land Trust and Co-Man.
Right back.
Huh? Okay. Land trust and co-management, establishing land trust to hold land and trust for indigenous communities. Thank you, Empress. Black China Mamas, born in San Domingo, prime example. We are indigenous. We are bound to this land by heritage. That's why we can't be deported. Yes, you may. I love the love, and I love us, man. Look, this is great vibes for me. I got get ready. I got class in the morning. We'll be back tomorrow night. We'll be talking with some of the Baltimore basketball legends. I know it's not native, but if any of you, and actually Timmy Green, who played for the '73 Dunbar champions, national champions, Timmy Green actually has Native American. I screen everybody coming on now. If you don't have indigenous, you ain't got nothing to add to the conversation. That's all people want to talk about. There's an identity that we want to know who we are. Moorish, Hebrew, Moors.
I'm invested in the conversation, so I'm definitely going to be looking at it from a legal perspective. And if I find some cool stuff, I would love to come back up here and share it with you guys.
Yeah, that says it all right there for me. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow night. Sunday night, we'll get back to the indigenous. Donnie Glover. Do check out bemorenews.com. Guess who rolls up on me today? I guess I kind of rolled up on him. I couldn't believe it. On Pennsylvania Avenue, Don Lemon.
Oh wow! Yeah, he does. He's got a YouTube too.
Yeah, well, he's on my YouTube now.
Yeah,
you could get charged unalive or many consequences for saying You're an Indian. I'm sorry you feel that way. Oh, well, yeah, you could get. Yes. Yeah. See that?
Oh.
You didn't know that. And you know, we're all learning. That's what this table is about. That's what I want to be about. We're all learning. Nobody knows everything. Our experiences are too varied. And
Right.
we're too varied. We come here from many paths. Osayo fam. All players are indigenous giants.
Okay.
I will check it again, Charles.
All right. Well, this was I can't wait.
You weren't
to...
expecting this, were you? I told you it was
I
banging.
was not.
Didn't I tell you?
Not.
Didn't I tell you?
Yes,
Yes.
This was very I enlightening. I learned some things. Y'all to you know, hopefully y'all learned some things from me. And you know,
And we support you. Listen, we're about supporting businesses, our businesses. So we must support each other. And thank you for giving up your time. You say you charge what, $300 an hour, $297?
Yeah.
So we owe you for roughly 4. St. Croix was sold in 1917.
Just give me a coffee. Just give me a coffee.
Thank you so much, Natalie. Au revoir. And good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Très bien, merci beaucoup.
Okay.